Hello everyone, welcome back to our new series of podcasts on the history of Indian's independence struggle. You are listening to Ikrish Pods and I'm your host Allada Shivani. In this series, so far we know about the Indians' first freedom struggle and how it became the basement of the future freedom fighters to get a stand and continue with the independence movement. In this episode, we are going to know things about the rebellion of 1857. India was under British rule for 200 years. The fight for independence was not easy and certainly not won in a day. Many revolts were won and lost that led to the movement of independence for India. One of the major was the revolt of 1857. That is also known as the First War of Independence and the first great freedom fighters of India. In this episode, you will know about the revolts of 1857, its causes and failures, and how it became the harbinger of other national movements. Revolt of 1857 was first started on May 10, 1857 by Sepoy Mutiny in Meerut. The revolt lasted for a year but was unsuccessful. The revolution brought many changes that were needed at that moment. A major highlight of this revolt was it abolished the East Indian Company in India. Central and northern parts of the India took part in the revolt of 1857. There were various reasons that bundled up the Indians. It was also known as the Sepoy Mutiny, the Indian Mutiny, and the Great Rebellion. The four major causes of the revolt in 1857 were based on political, economic, military, and social causes. The first one is political causes. In the late 1840s, Lord Dalhousie imposed the doctrine of lapse. Under this, no ruler will be allowed to adopt any child and only a true and natural heir has the right to rule. If a ruler dies without a male heir and is under East Indian Company, it will be annexed. Second is economic causes. The peasants and farmers were affected by various British reforms. They were forced to pay heavy taxes and the ones that were unable to pay the taxes or loans had to be surrendered their lands to Britishers. The third one is military causes. The Indian sepoys were paid less than the European sepoys. Indians were considered menial and European sepoys were very much important in the terms of salaries, pensions and promotions. And the last is social causes. East India Company abolished sati pratha, child marriage and encouraged widow remarriage. At the time, it was considered as the threat to Indian traditions. Britishers wanted Hindus and Muslims' religion to be converted into the Christianity. The revolt of 1857 was not a success but created a huge impact on India. The major impact was the abolishment of East India Company. India were under the direct control of British authority. The Indian administration was directly controlled by Queen Victoria. The second impact that the revolt of 1857 created was to develop unity and patriotism among the nation. Peasants were also actively involved. The restrictions on the press were also involved. The press played an important role in freedom struggle. It helped to educate Indians, influence them and aware of government policies. The revolt spread over the entire area from the neighborhood of Patna to the borders of Rajasthan. The main centers of revolt in these regions, namely Kanpur, Lucknow, Bareilly, Jhansi, Gwalior, and Ara in Bihar. Lucknow, it was the capital of Awadh. Begum Hazrat Mahal, one of the Begums of the ex-king of Awadh, took up the leadership of the revolt. Kanpur, the revolt was led by Nana Sahib, the adopted son of Peshwa Bazirao II. Jhansi, the 20-year-old Rani Jhansi Lakshmi Bai led the rebels when the British refused to accept the claim of her adopted son to the throne of Jhansi. Bihar, the revolt was led by Kunwar Singh, who belonged to the royal house of Jagdishpur, Bihar. The revolt was an extraordinary event in the Indian history. The result of the revolt was unsuccessful due to some major drawbacks. One of the reasons for the revolt of 1857 was there was no leader. The need of that movement was a leader that could lead and execute the plan. At some places, only sepoys were revolting and there was no support from the commoners too. There was a lack of support from the people in the revolt of 1857. Rulers of the Indian state didn't support the Indians and suppressed the revolt. There was no unity. The northern region was actively participated in the revolt of 1857, while the southern states didn't take any part. At that time, the Indians involved in the revolt has limited resources in the terms of financial aid, equipment, and guns. On the other hand, Britishers didn't pay any issues like this. The revolt of 1857 was an unprecedented event in the history of British rule in India. It united, though in a limited way, many sections of Indian society for a common cause. Though the revolt failed to achieve the desired goal, it sowed the seeds of Indian nationalism. This is all about the rebellion of 1857. See you guys in the next episode with a new exciting topic. Until then, keep following our updates and like, comment, share on our YouTube channel and Instagram handles. Take care. Bye bye.